Hi, my name is Emily Kelly. I'm 47 years old. Went to Ohio University for college and then moved back home to Akron. And I am a sales and marketing professional with 25 years of experience in the local area, and I'm currently serving an IT company out of Kent. I decided I wanted to give back in the same way that I had been ministered to. And that's when I decided to become a Young Life leader at Athens High School. I remember you being outside the school waiting for the kids to come out. It was a small high school, much smaller than the high school I went to here in Akron. And I remember having club, and I remember taking the kids to, I couldn't remember which camp it was. MB said it was Champion in New York. And so I did that for about a year, and obviously pressed into my relationship with Mary Beth more than the others in that family during that time, because we were doing things together with Young Life. But I just felt like the transition in my life that Young Life had brought to me was something I wanted to give back to that dynamic of kids and serve the Lord in that way, and had a great experience doing that. Anyway, I'm a big believer in Young Life. I love how they make the message fresh and warm and welcoming, inviting and loving. And there's no judgment, which was really refreshing to me. So always still praying for the ministry and hoping for the best, especially in our local area, Northeast Ohio, for everyone who's serving. And so just want to say thanks for the experience and wanted to share my story.
My name is Mary Beth Zerniak, and I'm just going to share a little glimpse of how Young Life has woven its way into my life for quite some time now. My family and I live here in Bowling Green. I have 3 kiddos who go to BG City Schools. My husband works here in town, and I am also a nurse here in BG. I was raised in a Christian home. I was actually a PK, pastor's kid. So I was just very well versed in the church culture growing up. In 1996, I was a high school freshman, a long time ago, and I went to Athens High School. And at the beginning of the year, I learned that at the end of the year, my family was going to be moving to Akron, Ohio, due to a job relocation for my dad. So my demeanor that year really changed. I became isolated. I withdrew from my friends. I put up some really thick walls just as a protection mechanism. I don't know, I guess to try to ease the pain of thinking it would make it easier at the end of the year when we left. I also became really angry and bitter. Yeah, I just was not happy. But at the same time, I was also really good at putting on a mask, and I knew all of the right things to say. I could slap a smile on my face. I knew how to answer all the questions appropriately. While all of that was happening, this trendy, fun college gal just started showing up at the high school. And so she just started chatting it up with me, small talk after school. And then one day she was like, "Hey, do you want a ride home?" And I was like, "You mean I don't have to ride the bus? You're gonna take me home?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Yes, please, anything to not ride the bus." So she drives me home in her nice shiny red BMW, and she had this huge booklet of CDs, and I was living my best life. And that kind of became our new routine and kind of the start of our friendship that year, freshman year. Time moves on, and there's these platforms of Young Life that are happening, club and campaigners, and she invites me, and I say yes, and I start going to them all year. And I ended up going to camp that summer as well. But all year long, Emily and I would continue to hang out and talk, and for whatever reason, I was very drawn to her. And I was willing to open up to her, even though I was so closed off to everyone else around me. But she really was able to just share the gospel with me in a way that I had never heard it presented before. And it was a very personal thing. It wasn't something that we're just gonna do it because this is what our family does, because this is what Dad's job is. And it wasn't just this pattern of going through the motions. It was something that I was I'm gonna choose this. This is for me. I am choosing this for myself. At that point, my life had started really to be transformed. While all these things in my life are starting to change and be transformed, 3 hours north in the little corner of Northwest Ohio in Sylvania. The same relationship building story is happening via Young Life with this super hot high school boy named Jimmy Z. That's happening up here, this is happening down here, and then fast forward 4 years and 2 BGSU freshman kids come to school and become Young Life leaders here in the Black Swamp. Jim led at Bowling Green High School and I led at Eastwood High School. So during our time at BGSU, we were volunteer leaders, we became Falcon Flames, and we got married. And here we are, 23 years later. But it was more than that. It just wasn't like, yep, we're gonna get married and, start our life and live happily ever after. We knew that when we got married, we wanted to spend the rest of our lives on mission, sharing the story of Jesus and how he changes lives. And wanting to be able to use the tool of Young Life to be able to do that. We entered into a new season of life, marriage, starting jobs, and having a family of our own. So we kind of transitioned from being volunteer leaders into another role of Young Life, which is being on the adult committee. What that role looks like is coming alongside the staff and the volunteer leaders and supporting them and just making sure that Wildlife and Young Life are able to continue on in this Black Swamp area. While I've been in that role, one opportunity I have had in that capacity is to get to know and meet my sweet friend, Allie Bingham.
My name is Allie Greenberg. I'm 24 and I live in Toledo with my husband, and I'm a full-time art teacher at Fostoria High School. After I graduated high school, I started going to college at BGSU. So I was placed as a wildlife leader at Bowling Green Middle School with a few of my really good friends that I had met through leadership training. And we started having club and having campaigners pretty much weekly, and very quickly the numbers of kids kept growing. We were going to meet the kids and support the kids at their football games, at plays, at track meets. We were going to ice cream places, we were having bonfires, we were having sleepovers. We were getting to do life with these middle schoolers that we got to meet through wildlife. The summer before my senior year of college, I got the chance to live with Mary Beth and Jim, who are committee leaders committee members in their family, which was a huge game changer because I not only was living in BG, so I didn't have to commute as far anymore, but I was living in a house that knew the Lord, loves the mission of Young Life, and wanted nothing but to support me in my leading middle schoolers. I didn't have to be worried about what would happen with the ministry after I stepped away, because there was such a strong foundation that was built between the leaders and between the families of the kids that were coming. There was no way that solid foundation could be crumbled because I had to walk away. So today I talked to some of the girls. They're graduating high school now, they're going to college themselves. It's so crazy, the cycle of Young Life, and I love seeing that it's gonna keep going forever.